Hey, what's going on, everyone? Crypto Austin here. Today we're going to discuss what's going on with the market. We're also going to talk about an ICO that I found that's maybe a pretty good gem to get into. We're also going to discuss a little bit about news, and I'm going to share with you how to operate a Nano ledger along with MyEtherWallet. And we're going to do that when we come right back. All right, well, let's jump right in. First thing, let's look at the market. We're at 550 billion currently. As you know, we shed around 260 or so from its high. 45 billion in 24-hour volume. BTC dominance at 34% there. Bitcoin is holding strong at 11,000. It's been there for a while after its dip a few days ago. So Ethereum over 1,000. Ripple $1.53. That's about 50% or so of its high as well. And you go scroll through and see all the different currencies here and how they're doing, and you'll see that, you know, for the most part, outside of Maker, which I don't even know what Maker is, but we could dig into it if you like, there's most of them in the red, right? And even the ones that you see that might be in the green, that's within the last 24 hours. So that's still below its highest high, right? So if you go from one day to the next and you see all green, sometimes it's deceiving. You're thinking, wow, the market's doing really good. Well, it is versus the previous day, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's doing good versus its highest moment, right? So that's market talk there. I found two interesting articles today, one of which was from Mark Cuban. He made this yesterday, or this article came out on CNBC Make It, and Mark Cuban said that says that the Dallas Mavericks will accept Bitcoin in the next season. That's a smart move, right? And think about the publicity and mainstreamness this is going to bring to Bitcoin. So this is very exciting and huge news, right? You can read the article there. Just look it up. Very interesting stuff to look at. The other article I found was the future of Bitcoin here, and this one's by Fortune, and it just talks about, is it going to be big or not, right? And let's just watch this real quick. It's only a 2-minute video, but very interesting stuff. So let's go through it.
Fortune's had Bitcoin. Astronomical. Absolutely stratospheric.
It is one of the top 20 currencies in the world right now.
No stock, no currency in the world, no other security on the market today trades the way that Bitcoin has.
Sort of been, until recently, pretty isolated. Now you can't have a conversation without Bitcoin showing up.
It is a huge deal.
This thing has rocketed to space.
One of the main uses of Bitcoin is as a vehicle for perpetrating fraud.
I'm seeing predictions for Bitcoin in 2018 from anywhere from $40,000 to $500,000 and above. It's like nothing we've ever seen before. There's still a huge question, does this thing have a future? So Bitcoin was the first blockchain, the original cryptocurrency. But with that meant it also had a lot of mistakes and imperfections.
Look, Bitcoin has flaws. It is not a perfect system. This thing is still young. It's still undergoing active development. It's open source, so anyone in the world can join in and make this better.
It's supposed to be outside the reach of governments and regulators and banks.
There will be no real non-controlled currency in the world. There's no government that's going to put up with it for long.
At any point, governments, even though they don't have control over Bitcoin, they could make it much more difficult, if not impossible, to use it.
There's more than 2 billion people in the world who are unbanked. For them, Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is a potential way to be able to participate in a modern economy. People are excited about Bitcoin because it represents an entirely new asset class that hasn't existed before, and in some ways it signifies a revolution in finance.
So for Bitcoin to actually go mainstream, it has to have so much technological improvement and development that it just currently does not have. So there's a big question as to whether Bitcoin will actually be able to scale and become the universal currency that so many of its believers hope it will be.
Even if Bitcoin doesn't break out as a means of payment, it still has a lot of potential simply as a sort of commodity like gold.
2018 is going to be the year where we're going to see a lot of Wall Street, big banks, hedge funds, and institutions come into Bitcoin and blockchain in a way that we have not seen before.
It's hard to say whether Bitcoin's a bubble, but there are some people who would say, look, money is the bubble that doesn't pop.
Bitcoin could be the next big thing, or it could be worth nothing tomorrow.
All right, so hopefully you found that pretty interesting. Money is the bubble that doesn't pop, right? So what I did was, after I saw that video, I actually went and broke out the calculator. And I wanted to find out one thing, right? And we could go through this exercise together, but I wanted to find out, I broke out the calculator, and I was like, okay, well, what if Bitcoin doesn't repeat what it did in 2015, 16, 17, but just repeats what it did in 2017? Because if you actually put the numbers together, including 2016, you're even getting a greater number, right? But let's say, for example, that it actually just does what it did in 2017, which is go up 20 times, right? And let's say it goes up 20 times versus the start of this year, okay? And so last year, it went from, when I remember it, about 1,046 or so to 20,000, okay? And that's about 20x. That's about 20 times the amount, right? So let's just, you know, assume that it does the same thing in 2017. And here's what it would look like. The year started off a little rocky for Bitcoin, right? Right around 13,000. Okay? So 13,000 per Bitcoin. Now, let's take that and times it by the 20x that it did last year. And watch this. 260,000. If Bitcoin duplicates what it did last year, you're looking at each Bitcoin being 260,000 by the end of this year. Now, do I think that's going to happen? Of course not. I don't think it's going to hit 260,000. What I actually think it's going to hit, 500,000. I think it's going to hit 500,000. And you know what? I might be completely wrong. I might be too optimistic. I don't know. I might be crazy. That's okay. This is just my own crazy opinion anyways. But even if it hits 260,000, that's a very beautiful number. If it hits 100,000, that would be an awesome number. But I think based on last year's projection, and we haven't seen the rest of the world in this thing yet. Think about it. Only 3% or so is into cryptocurrencies. What if 5%? What would that look like? What if 10%? What would that look like? What would 20% look like, right? Of the population into this thing. I was just talking to my wife, and she was explaining to one of her friends, you know, my husband's doing this cryptocurrency thing, Bitcoin thing. And it was funny because my wife's friend was like, and actually my friend as well, but her response was, isn't Bitcoin for like illegal stuff and criminal things? And had no clue, right? So imagine all of those people, including the ones that are doubters and naysayers or whatever, get into it. Then the number is going to be through the roof, isn't it? Just amazing stuff. Anyways, I wanted to share that bit of information with you. Hopefully you enjoy that. All right, so I'm not going to get into the ICO quite yet because I'm getting a lot of questions on how on earth do we use, how do we get into ICOs with MyEtherWallet and maybe use it with a ledger, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through how to use a ledger, okay? If you've seen a ledger before, this is what the little guy looks like. Hopefully you can see that there. It's got this cable that you could unplug and plug back in, and this is what actually turns it on and hooks it up to your computer there. There's a series of codes here that you can use. It usually starts off with a 5 there, and you use a series of codes to actually unlock the ledger. And any ERC20 token you could pretty much use with the ledger along with MyEtherWallet. With your EtherWallet, let's go through here real quick here, and I'm going to show you the link. So I always save the links onto your desktop, and once you click on the link, right, let's go and click on it. Once you click on that link, make sure you do this, okay? Make sure that the address on top here actually matches what the site that you're trying to go to, okay? And the reason for that is because there's a lot of sites that are spoofs and will change the actual name of the wallet up here. So once you get into the site, it's real simple to use. Real simple. You're just going to go to, you see here, new wallet. If you create a new wallet, when you first do that, make sure that you write down your keys. It's real key that you do that. But I've already created a wallet, so I'm just going to jump in and show you how to work it. So you're going to go in and where it says send Ether and tokens, right? And you're just going to click on that there. Once you go to this link here, you're going to scroll down and find about 9 different buttons that you could click on. I'm going to use the Ledger wallet here, and then it asks me to connect the Ledger wallet. Okay. What I recommend doing is once you set up MyEtherWallet here, the first time is that you go through and read every single page to get more comfortable with it. Once you get a hang of it, it's super easy, super simple to use. So the next thing we're going to do is connect the Ledger, right? Connect to the Ledger wallet. So in order to do that, you're going to have to go into your Nano, right? And remember, your Nano is right here, right? And you're going to enter in whatever code you put into your Nano when you first registered it, okay? So I'm going to do that real quick here. Super easy to do. Once you've done this a couple of times, it becomes just super simple, okay? Now, once you actually connect, you're going to have to pick the Ethereum one, okay? In your ledger, you're going to pick Ethereum. Hopefully you can see that. It says Ethereum right there. See it? Okay, Ethereum. So you're going to pick Ethereum. Okay. Once you pick Ethereum, go ahead and click Connect to Ledger Wallet. Once this screen pops up here, okay, you're going to pick whatever address you have tokens into, or whatever address you have different cryptocurrencies in. And so you're just going to pick one. For me, it's the first one here. Most people usually choose the first one. I mean, you could use any of them. It really depends on which one you want to store it in. You want to make sure that it says Ledger ETH up at the top here, and then you're going to scroll down and unlock your wallet, okay? Once you unlock your wallet, what it's going to do then, it's going to give you a number of tokens at the bottom. It's also going to give you an address here at the top, okay? Now, I'm blurring some of this out just for privacy reasons, okay? But if you go and you scroll down, okay, and you go show all tokens right here, if you click on that, it'll show you every single token that you have that's available here, right? And what you could also do is add a token. And a lot of the ICOs, when you're first trying to get or receive these tokens, and here's the thing, when you're getting into an ICO, never use an exchange to send the cryptocurrency from the exchange to the ICO. That's a very easy and quick way to lose your funds. So always use MyEtherWallet or do it straight from your ledger. But once you get into it here, you're going to be able to add a token. When you add a token, like let's say for example, there's a new ICO and they don't have their token in MyEtherWallet yet. You could actually, with ERC20 tokens, create that, okay? And they'll give you some information like the token contract address, token symbol, and decimals. Usually the decimals will be 18, okay? And anyways, once you do that, it'll ask you, the token symbol is basically the acronym or the ticker that they use for that token. And it'll look something like this here, like ADX, ADT, 300 first, so on and so forth, okay? And then you do that, and once you save there, what happens is if the tokens actually were sent to this address here, then it will show up on your list of tokens, right? I've got a list of tokens on this account here, but I'm not showing those because I have to go in and actually upload it. One easy thing to do as well is as you're going through here, you could go to Ether, HTTPS Etherscan Tokens Explorer right here, transaction history, and you could do also display address ledger right here, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click on this one here. It's going to take us to another site. And what this is going to do is going to give us the transactions within that wallet, okay? Anyways, so let's go back real quick. You could also click on the Token Explorer right down here, and you can see the type of tokens that are actually in that wallet, right? right here. And you'll see here that my 1100 bar and my 100 Sether from the ICOs that I did recently showed up, okay? And so anyways, this is where you would get the information, okay? All right, so very easy to do. The biggest key is once you've gotten all the information you wanted, just go ahead, and you don't have to do anything with the actual ledger. You just unplug it. Just unplug it from the system and store it somewhere safe. When you do get a ledger, currently they're in back order. They're in back order until March. I do have a link down below if you decide you wanted to order one. It is going to be in back order, so you probably won't receive it till March or so, but it's always a good idea to order one ahead of time. As I mentioned previously on my other videos, is don't ever buy a ledger from a third party. I don't care how cheap it is, okay? Don't ever buy a ledger from a third party. Do not buy it from Amazon. Do not buy it from eBay. Do not buy it from Newegg. Do not buy it from anyone, okay? Despite me being a huge fan of Amazon, eBay, Newegg, all of that, I think they're fine companies. However, with the ledger, it's very, very easy for someone to open up the package, save the keys to it, and once you use it and you upload your tokens to it, they go in and change that, okay? So I don't recommend doing that. Go straight and directly to the ledger site, okay? And you want to use a trustful link to do that. You do not want to use just any link out there, because people are out there looking to steal cryptocurrencies. Because as you know, you are your own bank. You are responsible for your own cryptocurrencies, okay? So that hopefully will clear up a little bit of confusion with using the ledger and trying to get into these ICOs. Keep in mind that there's a little bit more to it, but everything is pretty easy. Everything that I just went through with you is the pretty much basis of it, okay? So there's not a lot more to that. What you want to do is transfer some Ether into your MyEtherWallet, and if that's what they're taking for their ICOs, then you're going to transfer that to the address they provide, and then what they're going to do is send you your tokens or your coins directly to your Ether wallet or your ledger, if that's where you're going to send it to, okay? And from your Ether wallet, you could actually transfer it physically to your ledger if that's what you wanted to do as well. If you have any questions, please put them down on the comments below. I will try to answer as many people as possible. As you know, if you leave a comment down below, I try to be as responsive as I possibly can, okay? So hopefully that helps you out in getting into some ICOs. All right, so let's get into an ICO that I found that I think would be a great opportunity for myself. This is one that I think I'm going to invest into. I'm going to do that tonight because I'm running out of time. And so I just want to go through it with you guys and see what you think as well. So we've got, it's called iungo ICO. Okay. I don't know how to pronounce that, but that's okay. You get the gist. It's this right here, okay? So the crowd sale is live currently. The time remaining is 2 days, 16 hours and 16 minutes. There was a soft cap that was reached, and that's fantastic. That means there's some popularity there. There's not a lot of people talking about it, and I kind of don't like that because I like ICOs that are like hyped, because the more the community that's supporting it out there, the better it tends to do, even if the technology of it doesn't do very well, right? If you go through here, you could see that they're going to give you 15% bonus currently, okay? You could pay with Visa, MasterCard, Ethereum, Bitcoin, or Litecoin, so any of those. I believe this is an ERC20 token. If you scroll down here, I just looked at it, and I looked at it yesterday, looked at it today, and I wanted to confirm that this is one that I wanted to get into. And basically the way it works is this new technology is basically the iungo network for everyone, right? Powered by blockchain. So, and what they're doing is, and you can see here, enjoy seamless connectivity, worldwide access with one account, always secure web access, instantly become part of a global network, VPN services, help connecting developing regions, get paid for services provided, and it's like Airbnb for the internet access. Okay, so very exciting stuff there. I did do a chat with them earlier, and they were pretty responsive. I don't know if they're going to be up this late, but they did respond. Now, the just of the token sale and what they're doing here is the ratio is 1 Ether to 1,000. So you know, an Ether currently is about $1,000. So you're essentially getting 1 ing for about $1.10. Okay. To me, that's a little high. I like the ones that are below $1. And once I show you the market cap here, you'll also see that it's a little bit higher than I like them at times. But it's still pretty decent. And I think that if it doubles or triple X, right? And once we talk about the market cap, we'll get a better idea. But we could see how hard or easy that's going to be. But once it doubles or triple X, you know, that's, to me, successful. If you double your money in an ICO, that's pretty successful. I know you're accustomed to hearing, you know, some triple, quadruple, 20 times, 1,000x, like Lisk. But honestly, if it's double or triple, we should be pretty happy with that. At least me anyways. But either way, I think this one's going to be a long-term one, even though the development in their product is actually moving quite fast. So you can see here that just scroll down. There's a video you could watch here. We're not going to go through that because we already watched a video today. They talk about an airdrop announcement that they're making. Here's the freemium business model that they're doing. And basically the way it works is that they provide a free service with plug-and-play software, millions of global customers, open source, ready e-commerce, security, and no IT personnel. If you want to do something premium with their services for the users, you'll see that, I'm sorry, here's the users, and here is the providers. So the users will be able to get all this free stuff here. Premium providers will get all this stuff here. And then for providers, this is what would happen. And then on the premium side, this is what would happen. Just scroll through and look at it. Very interesting stuff there. Their roadmap is pretty exciting. It was a little bit hard to follow because it had a lot of circles and text. But basically what they did was they started back in 2016. They did research in the first or second quarter of 2017. By the third quarter, they figured out the technical feasibility of it, the study, planning, testing, coding, core team established, so on and so forth. Q4, the MVP, is when they rolled out the white paper and the MVP development. Positive feedback from the community encourages the team to move forward. And they also at that time launched the iungo network. LinkedIn executive joins the team as an advisor. Then you see October, November, December, and just goes through all of it, right? So here's the exciting part. It hits the exchanges February 2018. See that hit there? So it hits the exchanges February 2018. So what that means is that this is one ICO where if you're getting in at about $1, and you're going to get 15% based on what they're talking about, or I'm getting in at $1, that in February, if I decided to sell this thing and it shoots up to $2 to $3, right? Because at that point, once it hits the exchange, there should be pretty exciting support from the community and a lot of hype going on. Hopefully, they're also going to invest in some marketing as well. But at that point, if I decide to sell, I could. I am not going to do that, though, because I think there is some room for growth with this technology. And because they're so far ahead of the game, it's very, very exciting. Where a lot of ICOs, they're basically selling you the dream, right? Or selling you the idea. Or they're selling you the blockchain that hasn't been quite created, or they're selling you a test or something like that. Where this one here, you could go through it and see that they're pretty far along down the road with their services and their technology. You can see on the news here, on the bottom, it's pretty exciting stuff. You'll see the top advisors, Dylan Sharkey, senior advisor at iungo, former head of sales solutions in LinkedIn, the largest global business. You'll see the other one here, blockchain advisor, founder of Mysterium Network, and hopefully you're pretty familiar with that one. So pretty cool stuff there. The MVP platform, you just scroll through and look at it for yourself. Is very cool stuff. It talks about global ISP. Today, the global internet service provider market is valued at more than $620 billion annually. It's basically controlled by around 20 major incumbent providers. The team, you'll see the entire team here, and this is very exciting. You can see all their information in LinkedIn, and I like that transparency. So that way you could do your research and find out a little bit more about them. I did look up a couple of these individuals just to check it out. One guy here, Ricardas, founder of multiple med, tech, and IoT companies, successful entrepreneur with a clear focus on business, media, and cryptocurrency. So I like the fact that they're in the cryptocurrency world, or that they've been in it for a while. So really, to me, even though if you look at their team, it's not the strongest team, right? Even though it's not the strongest team, they still have what I would consider a pretty solid team to work with, right? Now, whether all of these end up staying or leaving or growing or whatever, at this point, they're pretty well-rounded. Excuse me. And so you can scroll through this, look at it. You can see where they've been mentioned previously, things like that. You go through their white paper. Their white paper was pretty bland. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through and show you the white paper real quick. So the executive summary: the emergence of plethora of powerful personnel and business internet applications has transformed how businesses and consumers operate. Explosive growth in the internet consumption is being propelled by rapid advances in the internet-related infrastructure and services. Despite the explosion of growth, major problems still persist on users to get onto the information superhighway. One of the problems with the local providers and local connectivity is that it limits on-the-go usage. So mobile data plans implemented usage restrictions and relatively high fees. So I don't know about you, but if I could get away from the current mobile provider that I have that bloat my phone up with a lot of different things, and my speeds aren't that great, have a lot of empty holes, I would be willing to try something new, and I think this is one of them. And I believe they're decentralized, and so that might be a good thing as well. I don't know for sure if they're decentralized because I didn't read that anywhere, but I'm assuming they are, since it is, we're doing with blockchains and cryptocurrencies. So you could read all this here. I don't want to take too much time here, but the benefits: instant, seamless, safe, and automated connectivity with hassle-free payments, affordable and transparent accounting with single wallet globally, usage based on preference, price, speed, quality reviews, and global providers network with recognizable brands. Benefits: additional revenue stream, and this is for the providers. Additional revenue streams for individuals and businesses, cost savings, access to global user base, increased engagement, low entry barrier, cheap, free to use, small, fee based on revenue, powerful web-based services management tool, network abuse prevention, reports, billing, so on and so forth, marketing tools, increased security, reduced legal liability for corporate visitor, internet access, so on and so forth. And you could just kind of scroll through it. One of the things I want to talk to you guys about is you could do all this research yourself. Just go through and read it. Lots of good information. It is like reading radio instructions, but that's usually how it is with white paper. You go here and look at the numbers real quick. And all right, so this is the exciting part. This is the part where they talk a little bit about the tokens. And remember, in my previous video, I did mention to everyone that I like to stay within a token that they have 100 million or less, right? Because if they hit 100 million, that would be worth $1. If they hit 200 million, that would be worth $2. And I could see this being within a billion, okay? And so that would at least get me to about $10 per token. And with the investment I'm going to do, I'm really looking for that. So that's the return that we're trying to get to. If it goes even higher than that, even better, right? But currently, you'll see here, it says total tokens for sale was 64% at 64 million. Token symbol is ING, okay? And generated per ether is 1,000. Soft cap 8 million, hard cap 64 million. They've already hit the soft cap already. Percentage of tokens for iungo founders is 12%, which is 12 million, vested for up to 18 months. Service Gateway Fund, 12 million. Percentage of tokens generated to Bounty Campaign, team, advisors, and partners, 12 millions. Date of crowd sales start December 7th, and date of crowd sale ends 31st, okay? And I think it's either they hit their number or the crowd sale ends, whichever comes first. But that's exciting that it has a total of 100 million. Pre-sale, currently I think we're in the ICO tier 2 right here. and that's up to 16 million. Shortly after the ICO, iungo tokens will be available on major exchanges and will be used for payments for the wireless network. Boom. Immediate. I love that, right? A lot of the ICOs will draw things out for like a year or two or so on and so forth, where this one is ready to go. It is like, you don't even have to wait. Usage of iungo services increases iungo token usage, therefore value should increase with the growth and adoption of the network, and it's naturally going to grow, right? It should. For example, if Ethereum's worth $300 and this explains a little bit about the price breakdown, it talks about the budget allocation, exact budgets, and you can look at that here as well. And so, you know, if you ask me, I think this is a solid one. I did a lot of research, and it's up there. It does have its flaws. It does have its risks. Things like the hype, it's not as hyped. I haven't heard of this one until now. Kind of concerns me a little bit, and I had to do some digging to really find this information. But outside of that, everything else looks pretty good, and it looks like one that I'm going to be participating in, okay? Thank you, everyone. I appreciate you spending some time with me today. Hopefully you've walked away with some good information today. If you ever have any suggestions or recommendations, please leave them in the comment down below. Either way, thumbs up, subscribe, and leave me a comment down below. Share this with your friends or family members. I am trying to grow my channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.